Hola YouTube. I am here to share another of one of my experiences on this platform. And I was thinking about a very magical experience, in my perspective, magical experience that I had in a meditation that revealed to me something beautiful, a connection that I have with one of my best friends in this lifetime, but a connection that I had with her in a past life as well. And the incredible part is, I have this really deep connection with her, completely platonic, but she is part of my soul family. Through this meditation, it actually showed me that I am connected to her beyond this lifetime. I do believe in the concept of soul family, that we incarnate into different lifetimes with a specific group of spirits or spiritual beings that incarnate into the same lifetime together to then teach each other important lessons for spiritual growth. I also subscribe to the idea that we are eternal spiritual beings. And when I was in my astronomy class in community college, my professor at that time was teaching us about energy infusion. And he explained that energy is not created nor destroyed, it only transforms from one form to the next. When he said those exact words, I literally felt like someone slapped me on my cheek. I literally felt a slap on my face of like, wake up. Yes, that's true. Like a slap of reality. And that to me gave me the basis of understanding that energy is what we call a spirit, at least in my perspective, because everyone can have their own perspective and understanding and interpretation of information, right? But in my own being, that's what made sense in terms of this concept that we hold in religion and spirituality, that we're spiritual beings, is because everything is made out of energy. So if energy is not created nor destroyed, the essence of what animates our body and who we are, it only is transformed from one form to the next. We have been transformed multiple times, however long we have existed thus far as a spiritual being. At least that's how I perceive life. So I went to the Conscious Life Expo for the third time in the last 3 years. And it was so beautiful in the sense of this year, there was so much releasing that I did because I went to workshops where that was the objective. I was open to it because I'm definitely happy to release things, energy blockages that no longer serve me in any capacity. And in one of them, I went to a past life regression workshop where the facilitator led us into a meditation so that we can meet one of our past lives. She took us into this beautiful forest. We went into this space where we chose to open the door so this lifetime can come through. And when I opened the door, I was in an enchanted forest. It was different from the one that she led us into in the beginning of the meditation. There was a cabin where I lived. In that lifetime, I was male. I was actually an older guy, and I was a wizard. I felt my body. And in this cabin, I was making potions. It was like a mad scientist, like a chemist. And when she had us go into a different scene in that lifetime, my play was to go outside and hang out with the fairies that lived in the forest. And there was a matriarch. The matriarch and I were best friends. We were partners, not romantic partners. I felt completely platonic and just this bond that we had, knowing that we were stewards, the stewards of that piece of the forest, and that it was up to us to help keep the balance and equilibrium of that space. I would play with these fairies, get lost in the forest with them, looking for flowers, looking for herbs, just becoming one with the trees, with that environment. I felt this huge, loving bond with the matriarch fairy. She was my friend, my true friend. And then the last scene that she had us dive into was me having a discussion with the matriarch fairy and telling her that I was choosing to depart that lifetime because I had completed everything that I needed to complete as that version of me. I saw the sadness in her eyes and I sensed it. The grief of knowing that she was not going to see me again, of knowing that we had to separate. But there was an acceptance, a beautiful, respectful acceptance where she knew that I was making the wisest choice for myself. There was no negative judgment. There was just an acceptance of, okay, I'm here for you in this decision with you. And I remember asking her if she can please be with me until the end. I chose a piece of the forest where there was tall grass, all these beautiful tiny little flowers that made a bed for me. And I laid there and she held my hand the whole time. And it was heavy for her to watch this, but also she just loved me so much that she was able to be present for me in my last moments. And I took my last breath and I left that body. And what I decided to do after we were done in that meditation, I decided to ask in this realm, can you please reveal in this current lifetime that I'm in who that person is in my life? And it clearly showed me the face of one of my best friends right now. It just filled my heart with so much love because, yes, it was like a confirmation because the bond that I have with her goes beyond this lifetime. She incarnated in this life with me as well, and she showed up in the time that I was going through the darkest times of my depression. Once she found out that I was stuck in that dark hole, she used to call me my little time bomb. She said, my little time bomb, there is no way I'm going to let that spark die out in you. You need to remain a firecracker. And she dedicated 3 months of her life with me every day to make sure that I did not keep going down that dark abyss. And because of her, I came out of it. That devotion and bond as a friend meant the whole world to me. And when that realm, that meditative realm, showed me her face, it just made so much sense. Everything clicked. And I knew it. It was validation. I said, she has been with me before. This is not our only lifetime. We have been together as friends, as besties in other lifetimes. Of course, this is what I believe. This is what rings true to me in my life. Let me know what you think. Have any of you had beautiful past life regression validations where you meet or you know you have these spiritual bonds with people in your life currently? that just prove to you the magic of life. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.